Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. My name is Mark Hulsey. I'm the managing broker of Remax Results Commercial Group, and I'm joined by
Hayden Hulsey, broker in the group.
And today, you guys, we're going to talk for a few minutes about 5 tips on selecting a commercial real estate broker. So let's just get started right now. But first, actually, you guys, we're in a listing of ours right now in downtown Minneapolis in the Central Business District. This is on Harmon Place. This is an ad agency building, the Peterson Mellahooks advertising building, and it's just absolutely a gorgeous building. So you'll kind of get a taste and feel of what this building's all about. So 5 tips for selecting a commercial real estate broker. So first, what I think is most important is track record. So needless to say, that's kind of what we're all about. We're built on our track record. And of course, that plays into the whole idea that you just can't replace experience. And cumulative experience over 10 years or 20 years, in my estimation, should not be poo-pooed and pushed to the side. Experience is everything. And of course, in commercial real estate, it's easy to think, well, gee whiz, if I'm selling, this piece of real estate or that land or maybe even that home over there, why couldn't I go sell an office building? And the reality is that commercial real estate is big. And we're broken up into product categories such as office, industrial, retail, multifamily. And each of those product categories is unique and different. So it's important to be able to match up a broker with the type of product category that we're working on. So if we're selling office, you need to find someone who's experienced with selling office. And just like everything else in life, many times you just don't know what you don't know. And that's where the experience comes in, to be able to fill in those blanks, to be really tight on everything we're doing, from whether it's the marketing, the valuation, or any of the pieces that we need to work on. And of course, then finally, when it comes to the track record too, it's kind of like who you know, and who you know is everything. So the relationships are worth $1 million. And many times that just means simply, having a great relationship with the fellow broker that you're working with within the marketplace. And it might be the folks that you're doing or handling due diligence with. Maybe it's the surveyor or the environmental scientists or the closing company, the attorneys, and all the rest of them. So that's the first step, number 1. Number 2, we're going to talk just a little bit about valuation of commercial real estate.
Yeah, valuation, this is what many say is kind of the cornerstone of commercial real estate. So if you can't value it, you can't really sell it. You're going to end up either leaving money on the table so that seller's not going to maximize their equity, or else you're going to sit with the stale listing and it just won't sell. In a couple other videos, we did a valuation piece or two, which kind of touched on each of those. We're not going to go into that, but it's really key to understand these numbers. And there's so many different scenarios too. So this listing, for example, you need to know if this tenant's vacating, it's going to be vacant. At time of sale, there's no income. So you're doing a pro forma, you're running all those numbers. And one of the most important pieces here too is every listing that we take on, we underwrite to it. So if you can't put debt in place, even if you have a cash buyer, if you can't put debt in place, you have a really tough time trying to sell this thing.
Next, let's talk just for a moment about marketing. And so, we take a lot of pride in our marketing. It's a background for over 30 years. And so since we are very much seller side focused, we take product to market. That's what we're good at. And so I come from the belief system, and I'm steadfast in this, that maximum exposure brings maximum return of equity on any particular asset. And so that means that we need to take an asset, package it up, get it out there. And it's a complicated task. It's not just simply going out there and throwing something out on the market and then waiting to see who dials you up or who wants to just go have a tour. There's a lot to it in commercial real estate. We're building the offering memorandum, and that's a very detailed and somewhat complicated document. So if I take this building right now and I put together an OM, I can send this off to somebody in Miami, and they can go through my OM, and they're going to have a very clear understanding of what we have here in every regard. It could be from zoning to square footages, you name it. They're going to have all the details about this particular asset. And then when we put it out there, commercial real estate has multiple databases that we need to put it on. And then of course we do lots of pushing out of the asset via email marketing, social media. It's a multifaceted approach when we have to market an asset like this. So once again, we think it's fundamental that when you're looking to hire a commercial real estate broker, if they're not spending the money, taking the time to put together the good package, to get the right types of videos, virtual 3D walkthroughs, and all the rest of it, then you gotta find a new broker, because it does take a big investment on our part to give it the maximum exposure.
And the one piece to add to that would be, you hear a lot about the off-market deals, and people say, well, isn't it better sometimes to just not deal with the hassle of tours and going online and the marketing? But in all reality, that's maybe for 5% of people, because the only argument really there is for simplicity and ease for a seller. Do you not have to go through that full process, and can you just match make and put two pieces together? The downside to that, of course, is how can you know you're getting top dollar and the best terms unless the most amount of qualified buyers see this? So if 5 people see it versus 50,000, naturally the market's going to drive that interest.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we've talked a lot about on-market versus off-market. Actually, we'll do a piece on that even separate from this as well, because it is really important within our industry.
So our fourth section here is industry resources. What we touch on here is, Mark mentioned kind of earlier, who you know does matter. So you need to have those relationships with the brokers that get deals done. So not just any broker, but the ones that are actually producing. Buyers. So in a listing like this, you know who the potential buyers are. It's likely not going to be that small investor who's only up to, of course, $500,000, because when you have a listing that's $2-3 million, it's just simply out of their price range, so it's not worth the time. You're also getting in front of, all the right lenders, attorneys, due diligence firms. That's whether you're on the seller side, the buyer side. You need to be able to provide those good resources to actually get a deal done. Attorneys, we work with them every day, but you want to have a good attorney who's not going to stall the deal. Lender, we get requests for lenders, every day with a buyer. Even if it's our listing, the buyer will come direct and say, who do you know? I might work with US Bank, but they're not the best fit. They want a small community lender, so we can provide those names. So it's really key to have all those different resources to help get that deal done. The fifth final point here is going to be the broker team, which Mark can touch on this.
So when you're selecting a commercial real estate broker, in our opinion, we think depth matters. And so we operate as a team, but we're a small, tight, concise team, but we've got tremendous depth within that team. And so what does that mean specifically? So not that I'm going to put down the idea that you can't be effective as a lone commercial real estate broker doing everything on your own, but in our firm, we have everything from some junior associate brokers to senior brokers, operations people, and then a slew of other vendors that help us out to make sure that we're very well rounded in our full approach to this. And so it's not uncommon this time of year in Minnesota, when it's nice and wonderful outside, that you may want to go away, you may want to take a break for a few days, but when a buyer and their broker wants to get into a property, you need to be ready to tour them. It's very important to have depth then. You don't want to put somebody off if they're coming into town and start looking at some assets. So whether it be just simply for touring, the preparing of all the marketing materials, the responsiveness, it's really critical that we're highly responsive to every inquiry that comes in, whether they're qualified or they're not qualified. And so we really believe in the depth of a team, and it serves our sellers well. In fact, many times our sellers really appreciate the fact that they might be calling anybody from me or Hayden or Jesse, or they could get in touch with Sawyer. We really believe in effective teamwork. So those are our top tips for selecting a commercial real estate broker today. We appreciate you taking a few minutes. To know more about us, you guys jump over to our website. It's resultscommercial.com, and of course we're all over social media as well, so check us out. We appreciate your time today.